Back in China, officials are once again shaking their fists in fury, and once again it's about Taiwan. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-Wen is traveling to Latin America. She's going to Guatemala and Belize. These are Taiwan's remaining allies in the region. And her journey will take her through the US. She'll land in New York before heading to Central America, and on her way back, she's expected to stop in Los Angeles. This will be next week. And this stopover is what China is most upset about, because an important meeting could take place in the US. President Tsai is expected to meet Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the US House of Representatives. The meeting is not confirmed, but Beijing is taking no chances. It has threatened retaliation.
Should the leader of Taiwan engage with the Congress Speaker during her visit in the US, it will be another provocation that seriously violates the One China principle, damages China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and undermines peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. We firmly oppose this and will take resolute countermeasures to fight back.
Let me give you some context. China follows what it calls the One China principle. It believes that Taiwan is a province of China and not an independent nation. Since the year 1949, Taiwan has been self-governed. But now China wants to reunify it. It says it will do so forcefully if it comes to that. And to counter this threat, Taiwan relies on allies, both official and unofficial. Officially, there are only 13 countries in the world that recognize Taiwan, 13 countries. India is not one of them, neither is the US. But unofficially, more and more countries now support Taiwan. And they face pushback and threats from China. Over the last few years, the number of official allies of Taiwan has dwindled. That's because China is using its checkbook aggressively. It is pumping money into countries and getting them to dump Taiwan. The latest case is Honduras. We told you about this last week. Honduras used to recognize Taiwan, but now it has turned to China. They established formal relations last Sunday. A joint communique was signed. And China's foreign minister, Qin Gang, did not miss the opportunity to needle Taiwan.
This once again fully proves that adhering to the One China principle is a correct choice in the line with international justice and the trend of the times, and it is winning people's hearts and is a trend of the general development. We inform sternly the Taiwan authorities that engaging in separatist activities for Taiwan independence is against the will and interests of the Chinese nation and against the trend of history and is doomed to a dead end.
Let's pause for a second and look at the timing of this development. President Tsai's trip to Latin America was announced well in advance. Honduras has been talking to China for a while now. And curiously, this is the time they chose to switch allegiances, right before the Taiwanese president's trip. Foreign Minister Joseph Wu said China is doing all of this intentionally.
The Chinese always try to manipulate the event to distort our diplomatic relations. And since the president's visit to our diplomatic allies, Belize and Guatemala, and it's being public, and therefore, the way the Chinese has been doing this seems to be correlated. And we also got the information a lot earlier that the discussions in between Honduras and China doesn't seem to be coming to an end stage. And therefore, it's, our suspicion and your suspicion are the same, that China seems to be doing this intentionally.
So Beijing is prying away Taiwan's official allies, but Taiwan is adding to the list of its unofficial ones. The Czech Republic have a delegation in Taiwan as we speak. So do the Tibetans. Germany sent a lawmaker to Taiwan recently, much to China's annoyance. And of course, there's the US. Until 1979, the US recognized Taiwan officially, but then it switched to Beijing. America now follows a policy of strategic ambiguity. That's what they call it, strategic ambiguity. It officially recognizes China, but also openly deals with Taiwan. So the Americans can have their cake and eat it too. That is strategic ambiguity. But there are some things which are not ambiguous. For instance, America is required by law to protect Taiwan from an invasion. It is the biggest defense supplier to Taiwan. And this American backing is crucial for Taiwan's survival, which is why Taipei keeps engaging with Washington. And that brings us back to President Tsai's trip. She came to power in 2016, and since then, this will be her 7th visit to the US. Also her first since the year 2019. And every time she goes, her delegation meets American officials, so this is not anything new. And that's the line that the US and Taiwan are taking. They're calling it routine. They're asking China to not overreact, to not throw a tantrum like they did last year. That's when former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. China was furious. It launched military drills. It continuously violated Taiwan's airspace, raising the threat of war. This time, both Taiwan and the US want to avoid a repeat, but China does not seem to care if the meeting is routine.
过去的错误不能为今天的错误开脱。
The transit to the US is a fake reason conjured up by the Taiwan leader. The true reason is to seek breakthroughs and promote her Taiwan independence agenda. It is not China that is overreacting, but the US side that's blindly conniving with and supporting Taiwan's independence forces.
China is firmly opposing President Tsai's trip. It has lodged multiple complaints with the US. It has also promised to retaliate. Taiwan's president knew all of this before boarding her flight, and this is the statement she issued.
External pressure will not hinder our determination to go global. We are calm and confident. We will not succumb and we will not provoke. Taiwan will walk on the road of freedom and democracy determinedly and walk to the world.
Bold words, but will it be enough to fight off an angry dragon? We'll keep you posted.